Welcome back, Beans Army, to another episode of the Less is More Sports Podcast, the college offseason podcast where you could say we're less of the regular season, but more of the offseason. On the episode today, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in college football so far and how it leads up to the offseason for 2026, because we are the college offseason podcast. But first things first, we got to address the elephant in the room. So, Ryan, my very first question to you is South Florida for real?
We're really gonna find out more today about USF. It was definitely, I think it's a surprise to us. I don't know if you saw it coming during the season. I feel like it's definitely a surprise to me, but I really like their defense. Their defense is really good. Played well against Florida, held them to 16 points. Played well against Boise State, but and their quarterback Byron Brown is really good and has played good in those two games. So we're really going to find out if they're for real today against Miami, which is a very, very tough opponent. So what if they go into Miami and win? Then they're definitely looking really good for that non-power four team in the playoff for that spot, but it is a long season. Anything could happen. Boise State could come up from the ground and get, no, I'm just kidding. They probably not, but USF is looking good to be that team. But if they walk in and beat Miami, then we're gonna have to have some serious conversations.
Yeah, not exactly a hot take to start this episode with because both of us are in agreement that we'll know more after Miami, but so far they're looking good. And you mentioned their defense and their quarterback Byron Brown. I really like him too. Some people have him as the Heisman favorite right now. I don't know if I'd go that far,
Yeah,
but if he does lead a win over Miami, we kind of got to put him there. I mean,
yeah,
he's playing really well, and of course, the I watched the Boise State game. I didn't. I was out of town for the Florida game, but he just looked like a man out there amongst boys. I mean, they could not bring him down. He was, breaking off big runs. He was finding his open targets, and yeah, if South Florida, they've looked good so far, but we'll know more against. We'll know more how for real they are against Miami today, which is going to lead us to our first question that kind of leads into the offseason for 2026. Given that USF just beat Florida, how hot is Billy Napier's seat right now?
I mean, if we're being honest, like, are we second degree, third degree burns? Like, this is might be as hot as it gets. Like, on top of his hard SEC schedules that he has, he's losing games that he should not be losing going into the season. Like USF, I mean, they're a good team, but let's be honest. I mean, Florida, if they were that good, so they should have beat them at home at least in a night game. That's a little disappointing for Billy Napier, but this has been over the course of many seasons where he's losing games that he shouldn't be, and he's really getting hit for that now. Florida wants to be back to like that early 2000s Florida where they were just feared on the field as soon as they come out, and a great football team. And now they have this quarterback in DJ Lagway with very, very high potential, and they feel like he may be getting wasted a little bit with Billy Napier as the coach. So yeah, I would say it's as hot, maybe the hottest seat in college football. It probably is right now, being the hottest seat just because coming off that loss against USF. And yeah, it's watch your
It's not looking good. Yeah,
yeah,
I would say,
watch out
and
Billy Napier.
I mean, and to your point too, I mean, there was so much talk about how having a talented quarterback like DJ Lagway and this talented recruiting class that he has around DJ Lagway and how they were going to be the recruiting class that saves his job and DJ Lagway in particular being the player that saves his job. But now it's getting to the point, there's not much they can do. I mean, the
Yeah,
worst of it all is that it doesn't get any easier as far as schedule goes. 8 of their next 10 games are against top 25 opponents. 5 of them are in the top 10. I mean, they're going to have to do a complete 180 for him to keep
their
his job.
schedule is brutal.
And it's been brutal the last 2 years. I mean, they haven't
Yeah.
done themselves any favor. It's like from one end, I respect that, they're not
Yeah.
ducking any smoke, but at the same time, it's like when you have a coach that needs to win games and win games now, this doesn't help your case at all.
No, I mean they're expecting like a miracle with winning all those games. Like they play maybe obviously LSU today. Like that's not a good start against LSU, which we'll pick our games later for show.
Hmm.
Um Les, did we have a bet? Did we have a
Oh shoot, I forgot about that. I'm so
Oh,
sorry. I forgot. You're right. No,
oh,
yeah, remind me before the next show, but
it could be a
I
next
for
one. It could be a next type of thing. It's okay, you know.
yeah, like I won't. No, I'll honor the bet. I completely just forgot. A lot's been going on, but yes.
Oh, I know
For the
you.
fans listening at home, yes, obviously, Ryan's Ohio State Buckeyes beat my Texas Longhorns, and so to honor that bet, I have to have a screensaver of an Ohio State player
Yeah,
or a moment of that game.
this one wasn't as easy as like the Jack Sawyer like touchdown. Finding like a picture. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, maybe I could find a picture of like Cornell Tate's touchdown, like, because
yeah,
that was insane.
yeah, yeah. No, I know you. I know you back up your bets, so I assume you just forgot.
Yeah, I honestly just slipped my mind, but I'll honor it. Just remind me before the next episode that you're on,
Yeah.
and I'll honor it for
Yep.
sure. And it's funny you say that Billy Napier might be the hottest seat in college football because there are some other guys that might give him a run for his money. You have the likes of Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. We have Kalen DeBoer at Alabama or Brent Pry at Virginia Tech. Of those three coaches, which of them is on the hottest hot seat?
You know, as far as putting in a perspective of who actually can get fired, I will say my answer is going to be Mike Gundy, but Kalen DeBoer, I mean, his I don't know if you saw, but that one lady that was like, "I'm going to win the lottery and pay off Kalen DeBoer's," in like a that SEC Southern accent. Um, her she's gonna pay off his buyout. It's like 70 million. There's no way that he gets fired and gets paid that 70 million, and then they also have to pay a new coach on top of that. So there's no way he gets fired, but he is like, if he was on a hot seat where like he's not gonna get fired yet, but he's just like kind of sitting there chilling on the hot seat, he's definitely on one. But I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna say Mike Gundy, who honestly barely got out of 2024 with a job. And he just had his worst loss of his career against Oregon. He got manhandled against Oregon. I mean, Oregon looked like they were playing like if they were playing my high school in a game, just because how easy it would be.
I mean,
That's
I mean, dare I say that it looked like Oklahoma State was playing for clicks and Oregon was playing for wins?
yeah, exactly. I mean, Dan Lanning must have had that same talk in the locker room, like
You
he
know,
did against Colorado.
is there a coach that has better sound bites in the locker room than Dan Lanning?
I
I got
don't
to
think
give it to him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, the playing for clicks, playing for wins is legendary. And I mean, he finds a way in games like this where the opposing team is talking trash, where he just comes out and is like, all right, we gonna shut that shit down right now.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely is a great motivator in the locker room to get the team hyped up. But I mean, Gundy's been there forever, and I think it's definitely time for him to go. I mean, I don't really remember. I mean, they made it to the SEC or the Big 12 championship against you all, but I don't really remember where they were like a huge contender for like the that was like the 14 playoff, but a huge contender. I can't really recall one besides having the greatest running back and Les's favorite running back
Oh
there.
Lord, that guy. And Quinn Ewers handing off to him in preseason just did not sit right with me at all.
I know. Yeah, it was just meant to be. All
Well,
right.
I think a couple things takeaways from what we just said right here is that if you want to beat Oregon, respect them. Don't talk trash about them.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And well, number two, and that gets into who I think is on the biggest hot seat of these three. For me, it's honestly Brent Pry. And
Yeah.
Mike Gundy, he led Oklahoma State to a conference title game a couple of years ago. Obviously, Texas smacked the shit out of him, but he still got him to the conference title game. Alabama just has Delulu fans. Yeah, DeBoer's not Saban, but who is? A week after getting trashed on social media, Bama goes out and scores more points than at any point of the Saban era. But Pry has been so bad that me and Matt, shout out to Matt McClellan, he couldn't get on the podcast today, but me and Matt's favorite message boards fan base, the Virginia Tech Hokie fan base on Twitter, has been calling for Justin Fuentes to come back. The level of how bad you have to be to call for Justin Fuentes to come back, yeah, Brent Pry's out of a job, dude. You
Yeah.
looked in very deep thought there.
Sorry, I was trying to. I've told Les I've like this little music playing. I hope no one can hear it, but it's like irritating me just because I don't want it to like interrupt the podcast. But I guess it's not since you can't hear it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he's pretty bad too. Those all three candidates were really good to be on. Maybe we can make the seat big enough for three people, the hot
Uh,
seat.
yeah, I mean, there's seats that are big enough to fit three
Yeah.
people,
It'd be like one of those really long benches, you know?
or one of those really big chairs that you see in the park where, like,
Yeah.
yeah, have you seen those?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. Like, yeah, yeah, I get
Just
what you're
get
saying.
just get like Mike Gundy, Kalen DeBoer, and Brent Pry just chilling on one of that big seat and just
Yeah,
like
and maybe the next guy.
theoretically, because I don't incite
Well,
violence on here, but theoretically just set it on fire because that's just how hot their hot seat is.
maybe before this season, if he didn't have a win last weekend, maybe the next guy
The next guy.
in our isn't his last name starts with a V.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely a little spoiler right now as we head into the transition into the next topic. Going from three guys that are currently on the hot seat to a coach that has been on the hot seat,
Yeah,
but there
less
might be light
coach.
at the end of the tunnel for his coaching tenure. And that brings up to the next question. Oklahoma has looked very good so far to start the 2025 campaign, and it is headlined by their stud quarterback play of John Mateer, transfer from Washington State. So this begs the question, is John Mateer saving Brent Venables' job, or as we like to call him on the show, Brent Variables?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. Yes, he is because John Mateer is obviously a really, really good player, and he played well against Michigan in their good win that is kind of saving the job of Brent Venables. Like that was a great win by them, but he allows Venables not to worry about the offense, and he can worry about his best coaching point or best coaching position, which is the defense. He gets to focus more on the defense, make them for real because they looked really good. They had Michigan all well. Michigan was hurting themselves with them that play calling and running the ball and throwing screen passes the whole time. But their defense was really really good, and I think it created challenges for Bryce Underwood and the whole Michigan offense when they lit up Justice Haynes in the backfield on that sideways or on that pass to the other side of the sideline. Yeah. It was a great win and he I think is definitely saving Brent Venables or Variables, whatever you like, his job this year because I mean he's taking control on the offense and he played really well and I expect him to keep going and see how many more great wins they can get this season in their schedule.
I won't go as far as to say that he's saving his job, but he's definitely buying him time. He's
Yeah.
shown that unless he has an elite quarterback transfer, Oklahoma isn't competitive. The standard at Oklahoma is to be competitive even without that. But this is exactly why I said on a previous episode that Mateer is the most valuable transfer because he is the position that Brent Venables shows time and time again since he's been the head coach at Oklahoma is that he needs that good transfer quarterback to come in and make and allow them to be competitive because what we've seen so far from the Venables era is that he can't recruit a good quarterback or a quarterback that fits his system. You know, whether it's Michael Hawkins or Jackson Arnold, neither one really fit what Oklahoma wants to do. But when you go out and get someone like a Dylan Gabriel, you go out and get someone like a John Mateer, that's the only time they're competitive. So I just don't have a lot of confidence that he's going to be able to hit the portal every year since he's not bringing in any on the recruiting
Yeah.
end that seem to fit, but go in and hit the portal every year and get the right quarterback to be competitive every year that is up to standard to what Oklahoma fans are going to want.
Yeah, um, this is one of the better quarterbacks. Well, Dylan Gabriel is really good. Jackson on what wasn't. Let's just be
I mean,
honest.
he's looking better at Auburn, but yeah,
He is looking
he
better at
wasn't
Auburn.
looking. He was not great at Oklahoma.
No. And he also, I think a lot of the time the receivers were kind of hurt for Oklahoma, which didn't do well. And now he's with Cam Coleman and Eric Singleton, which is good. But yeah, John Mateer, besides Gabriel, might be the best quarterback that he's had, and because I mean he can do everything on the field. True, true kind of dual threat quarterback, and he ran a lot, but that's he did it. That's what he did.
One of the last things we're going to talk about before we get into this week's pick'ems of our slate of games is that, there's been, even though it's early in the 2025 campaign, there's already been a ton of surprises. But our lead question is, what has been the biggest surprise of 2025 so far outside of South Florida?
All right, not gonna lie, someone in my family, well, someone around me gave help with this question, with this answer, even though he 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 wants me to say this, and
Does his name rhyme with Fallon?
I'm gonna I'm gonna let you answer that. All right. So
So yes, yeah.
I'm gonna read what my answer is. It says Colin Simmons never broke Julian Sands' restraining order against him because he never got within 300 yards of sacking him. But
Not
this
entirely true, but all right.
there were reports of him being in the stadium.
Again, not entirely true, but I'll allow it.
Um, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go with. I mean, Julian Sam was supposed to be that quarterback that Colin Simmons was supposed to sack, and then I don't know. I just never saw him. I saw Carnell Tate blocking him or a wide receiver. So that is my biggest surprise that he never broke the restraining order of Julian Sand.
Well, I do think it's worth noting that Colin Simmons did get pressure on Julian Sand, so it's not like he just didn't get to him. But all credit to Julian Sand getting the ball out quick. But no, definitely, if you're gonna talk like Colin Simmons did and say he's gonna sack Julian Sand, you better back it up, and he didn't. At the end of the day, he didn't. I do
Yeah.
think Colin Simmons had a better game than what social media likes to say he did, but
They
again,
drag everything.
I swear they do. But that's
Well,
why you gotta
yeah,
love
Arch
social
Manning is
media.
the worst quarterback. That's what they're saying now after
Oh, I
like
know. Yeah, he's a complete nepo baby. Yada yada yada.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
I mean, technically, yes, he's a nepo. He's
Yeah,
gonna
they
be.
were
He's
kind of talking about the Dion thing.
yeah. It's like I don't know. I mean, as a fan of Shador and Arch Manning, I mean, I think they're both going to be fine. But that neither here nor there. But regardless, even if Arch Manning is good, he's still a nepo baby because he's still a Manning. Unless he changes his last name, he still can't change his bloodline. So
Yeah. But I will say that now I was just kidding. I do know the pressure. Well, do know one certain pressure that Colin Simmons had on Julian saying, and it was in the end zone. Julian just made a great throw and a catch on the sideline by Carnell Tate. If you remember what play I'm talking about.
oh, I do. And that was. I mean, that was a demoralizing play for me as a
Yeah.
Texas fan.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I mean,
Why
hate
are
to
you apologizing?
I hate to do it to you, but
No, you
maybe
don't.
we'll see each other later in the year.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, it was yeah. I mean, we made McConaughey leave early. All right.
I know that's crazy.
Yeah,
And it was a one score game. Like, come on,
I
Matt.
know.
Come on, Maddie.
Yeah, but people were making fun of our offense after the game, like it wasn't gonna be good in the rest of the year. Texas defense is really good.
I was about to say, yeah, that's crazy. Like, I mean, I had people trying to tell me on the channel that Texas's defense wasn't good, and I was like,
Oh, I saw
what are
that.
you
Yeah,
talking about? Like,
yeah. Both defense were really good. I think
didn't
my
y'all score like 70 the next week?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We beat poor Grambling. We beat Grambling 70-0. Hey, do want to say, by the way, just talking about a game. I mean, the slate hasn't really happened, or it hasn't. The slate hasn't happened yet today of college football games, but there was one last night. Well, there was many. There was a couple last night, but one specifically was the Indiana State game. Oh God, poor Indiana State. Their quarterback, I think. yesterday in the third quarter was like 9 for 15 for 7 yards.
That's
Seven
insane.
yards.
On you have more completions than yards. That's
Yeah,
insane.
I'm pretty sure that was whenever I checked one time, and Omar Cooper Jr. had 207 yards and 4 touchdowns. But oh my goodness, 9 for 15 for 7 yards.
And not to mention Fernando Mendoza. I don't care if it's Indiana State or not. 95% completion percentage is insane.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wonder if Matt's still a free agent or is he full born on the
I know.
Indiana hype train
Need
now?
to be well. What's their mascot now? It's like a buffalo that came out. I'm
Is
pretty sure
it?
it's like
I
I
didn't see
think
that.
it was. They debuted it like first
There's
game.
no
He's
buffaloes
a,
in Indiana
I know.
unless it's
I'm
like
pretty
some
sure it was.
park that brought him in or something. But
It was
no.
like a mascot that they used like many years ago.
Oh, fun, Lord.
But
Anyways, before we get too far off topic, I do want to say my biggest surprise of the 2025 college football season so far. To touch on what Ryan said a little bit, I actually do want to say that Texas not being able to sack the quarterback because of all the talent they have at edge rushers
you are right.
has been a bit of a surprise because they really didn't have a ton of like sacks against San Jose State. But to be unbiased, honestly, for me it's Clemson because they were a lot of people's national title favorites. Their offense has not been good, and their defense, which was expected to be one of the best in college football, has looked good but not great. They lost to LSU, but okay, LSU could be really good. But then they fall 16-0 to Troy early on. That should never happen. So I'm not one to
Yeah.
push the panic button yet, but it's not looking good for Clemson.
No, it's not. And today they kind of have a tricky matchup that not a lot of people are touching. On College Game Day, I was watching what's his name, the guy that we used to be is doing Bears job where he just makes the picks.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I forgot his name, but yeah, he's staying away from that one because it's Haynes King is a little banged up and Clemson has a lot of starters out. So yeah, it doesn't get better with today, but they gotta fix something. They gotta turn something around because that Troy like being down 16-0 was unacceptable.
Which is going to lead us into officially our pick'ems for today's slate of college football games, and we're going to start with number 12 Clemson, who is a 3.5 point favorite at Georgia Tech. That very tricky game. So Ryan, who wins?
Before we get, are we picking like the spread or just to win?
I mean, you can do either one. You can say I'm going to pick. You can take the money line or you can take the spread.
All right, I'm gonna just go money line with and I don't. By the way, I don't bet. Okay, so when I'm not telling on myself here, I'm gonna go with like I just talked about in Clemson. I'm gonna go with Clemson because I think that they need to bounce back, and this is a good. I mean, they're going to get a good Georgia Tech game. Like I said, Haynes King is banged up from. I think it was starting from that Colorado game, and he didn't play last week, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Clemson because they need a bounce back game and it needs to start now. So if they really want to be a threat later in the season, which a lot of people had them preseason as being one of the natty favorites. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Clemson starting off.
I agree. I think this is the week Clemson gets it together, and I'm going to take Clemson on the 3.5 point spread. So coming into our second game, we have number 6 Georgia, who is a 3.5 point favorite at Tennessee. Who you got in that one?
I am gonna go. It is at Neyland Stadium. Kirk Herbstreit's doing a 3:30 game, which is a little different than what we've seen. It's usually 7:30, but it is at Neyland Stadium. That crowd is rocking all the time, no matter what time it is. But I am gonna go with the Georgia Bulldogs because I just think they're better. I don't love their quarterback Gunnar Stockton, but I think they're better, and I don't know how for real US or what Tennessee is right now. I think Joey Aguilar is a good quarterback and their defense is good, but I don't know how for real they are. I like Georgia in this game, and I don't know what the point spread is, but I'm going to go
I
Georgia
just
money
told you it's
line.
3.5.
Well, I forgot. I got to talking and then I forgot. Give me some slack, Les. All right.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go with Georgia though. On to you, sir.
All right, I'm gonna go with Georgia as well. In Joey
You popping
Aguilar's
me?
first real test as the Tennessee quarterback, and I'm gonna take Georgia on the 3.5 point spread as well, which is gonna bring us to our next game, which is probably the biggest viewing that the CW has ever had since Riverdale, and that is number 18 South Florida at number 5 Miami. Miami is favored by 18 and a half points the last I saw, which is crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna, if I'm going first, I'm staying away from the points. That's a ton of points for this game on
Yeah.
how liked USC or USF is right now with their two great wins. I am gonna go with Miami. I think that Miami is a really good team. They got a brutal front four on their defensive line, um, starring Ruben Bain, but
hmm
I think they're better. And Les did not like Carson Beck, and Carson. I feel like Carson Beck is just going after Les and proving him wrong and having a great season so far. All right, we're only 2 games in, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Miami at home. I think that they will beat those other guys in the state of Florida. So I'm gonna go with Miami. I'm not taking the points, but I'm taking money line.
Right, I called Carson Beck a freaky ass dude on this show, and he took that personally. But yes, I'm
Yeah,
also going to go with Miami, but I'm going to take South Florida on the points.
yeah,
Um,
I
yeah,
see that.
Carson Beck has been better than I expected, and I think, Miami's got something clicking right now, and I think overall they are the better team than South Florida. But I do know one thing is for sure is that in a game with South Florida and Miami, I think we're going to see one or two All Americans.
Hmm, interesting. You want to keep going on that, or you just want
On that specifically. No matter who wins this game, both teams need a reminder that there is only one Tree Hill.
to? You did say that, which I don't think I've ever seen One Tree Hill, but
One Tree Hill is a great show, actually.
I think I've seen one episode, and it was when they robbed her store. I'm pretty sure. If that
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
know what episode you're talking about.
that's the only one I saw. I
It's
think
a
my
wild episode to see. I mean, I think
yeah.
there's only one other episode I feel like could be even. Well, no, there's a couple episodes that could be probably even wilder
I
than that
got
one. But
I got a crazy intro to the show. Like I just watching that episode.
just watching Brooke Davis just get beat up in her own store.
Yeah, yeah. That was maybe I chose the right episode to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that'll get you locked in. So
Yeah, it didn't because I didn't keep watching it.
fair enough. Anyways, going on to the fourth game that we're going to talk about, Arkansas at 17, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is an 8.5 point favorite. So, Ryan, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Ole Miss. I don't have a lot of faith, and I don't have a ton of faith in Arkansas winning this game. I'm going with the Rebels. Are they home?
It's at Ole Miss.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So yes, so they're home. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Ole Miss and Austin Simmons. But for that Florida job, maybe we have to look out for, maybe a Lane Kiffin job at Florida. Never know. There's all these candidates are gonna come out, but yeah, for this, I'm gonna go with Ole Miss to win this game.
I am actually going to go with the upset here, and I'm going to take Arkansas to beat Ole Miss because I'm going to be completely honest. Ole Miss doesn't impress me, but Talon Green does. I think the Razorbacks come
Yeah, he
in.
is good.
Yeah, the Razorbacks come in and actually pull the upset. So I'm going to go with Arkansas on this one, which means it leads us to the next game. Speaking of Florida, maybe some foreshadowing. Maybe Lane Kiffin does get the job offer after Billy Napier is fired. Florida begins that really brutal stretch of games
Yeah.
against at Death Valley, number 9 LSU, who is favored by 9.5. Who wins that game, Florida or LSU?
Talking about this game, LSU obviously had a great win against Clemson, but Clemson, I mean, they're just trying to make LSU not look as good as they are because having that Troy down 16-0, I mean, that doesn't like hugely hurt LSU, but like Clemson's not doing them a favor by looking any good, but Florida is going in to Death Valley. We know Death Valley night game. I mean, there might not be an atmosphere like it. I've actually experienced the Death Valley game at night. Joe Burrow's senior night, by the way. which is crazy. But I'm gonna go with the LSU Tigers because I just don't have much faith in Florida. I like DJ Lagway, but I don't like the rest of the team, except the receivers are good. I like Nussmeyer and I like LSU to win that game. But do you think I feel like Nussmeyer is like the most, and if you say it with like an SEC Southern accent, I feel like that's the most like SEC quarterback name, like
Oh, I
last
swear,
name.
for
Yeah,
sure.
Nussmeyer. That's what it
Nussmeier.
sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like one of the most southern quarterbacks you could possibly
Yeah.
have for the SEC
He's
cons.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect
Yeah.
last name. But yeah, I'm gonna go with LSU though.
I'm going to go with LSU on the win, but I'm going to take Florida on the points. Listen, I think Florida needs it, but LSU's revamped defense makes me favor the Tigers, so I'm going to go with LSU on this. Which brings us to our next game, number 16 A&M versus, I should say at number 8 Notre Dame. Notre Dame is favored by 6.5 points. Who do you have in that game?
Well, obviously we know Notre Dame won this game at Texas A&M last year, which was a good game to watch. Um, but no, I was disappointed in Notre Dame against week one against Miami, which having a week two bye, I mean that stinks. Like
Hmm.
having you're so excited for college football season, you get one game and you lose, and you have a bye week. That stinks. But um, I was disappointed with their play calling and their honestly whole offensive like kind of schemes because they were not given the best running back in college football at that time the ball. They were not giving Jeremiah Love the ball. He had like 4 carries for 13 yards or something like that. At least during the game, and they need to definitely get him the ball in this game and the rest of the season because he is their best player on offense. But I like CJ Carr and I like what he showed me. I'm gonna go with Notre Dame at home against Texas A&M. Marcel Reed is really good, but I'm gonna go with CJ Carr and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
I'm going to take Texas A&M on this game. I think Elko and company can draw up some schemes to confuse a young CJ Carr, so I'm actually going to take Texas A&M on this game, which brings us to the last game we're going to talk about for this Saturday slate of games. We have a game that Josh Pate referred to as an absolute war, and that is Vanderbilt going to 11 South Carolina, and South Carolina is given 5.5 points. So who wins that game?
Um, I guess I'm gonna just keep with my strategy and just go money lines, just because I don't know. But I'm actually no. I saw the video with Speed and Theo Vaughn at Vandy, which was hilarious. They were trying to hype up the team, and Diego Pavia was like, "Screw South Carolina." Was like, and Speed was like, "What's South Carolina do to you?" But it was hilarious. But I'm gonna go with South Carolina. I'm gonna go with that team that they don't like. Diego Pavia is might be pushing it with how good he thinks him and his team are. Honestly, that's just my opinion, but I like Lenore Sellers, and I think that they will improve over the course of the season, and starting off with a win against Vandy. And I would actually take the points this time.
I agree. I think South Carolina is actually going to blow them out, and that was even before I heard that Diego Pavia said "screw South Carolina." I think they're going to be headhunting now,
Yeah.
but I think Lenora Sellers is going to show Diego Pavia what a real quarterback juggernaut in the SEC
Yeah.
looks like and humbles him. So I'm going to go with South Carolina, and I'm going to take the points on that one as well. So that wraps up the majority of our content on this episode. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. As always, like and subscribe to the Less is More Sports YouTube and Spotify channel to get the latest updates we have on content coming out. Be sure to follow the social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Threads. That's at Less is More Sports. Also, be sure to follow the side quest on TikTok. That's at BeansDad018. And speaking of Bean, he literally has sat here the entire time and didn't want to say
Wow.
hi.
Well, at least he was, being good.
Yeah,
What up, Bean? His head's cut off right now, but that's pretty normal for him, though.
he does what he wants.
Yeah. But I want since we have some time, we got 4 minutes to kill. I want to know some. What are you thinking about Texas? Like, tell me, having these kind of easy games where you're trying to, you know, see what you need to change. What are your thoughts? What do you want to see better, and what do you like?
Well, I want to see us get more pressure at the line of scrimmage more. I think we have too much talent on that defensive line to not be getting more pressure than we are. And I think we just want to see Arch Manning get reps. I mean, I expected him to look better than he did against Ohio State in the first game of the year. Wasn't expect. I honestly,
Yeah,
I don't want to sound like I'm backtracking here because I'm really not. But I wasn't expecting Arch Manning to go into Columbus and have like a week one Heisman performance automatically. I was expecting him to just look like he's been there before and just like play experienced football, make the right play. And I ultimately thought the defense was going to win Texas that game, and as long as Arch Manning didn't do anything to lose it. But the problem is he did.
yeah,
Um, but no, I think these next the game against San Jose State and then the next two games against Cupcakes I think is going to be good for him to get some reps in, leading into our next challenge against Florida. And Florida's probably going to be in a position where they need to have that game as well. So they're going to be playing with their backs against the wall. But overall, I would like to see the main things I want to see Texas improve on is pressure on the getting pressure at the line of scrimmage, using that talented defensive line that they have. Arch Manning getting reps, but also who's even been I don't know how much you want to put of this on Arch Manning or how much you want to put of this on them, but I'd like to see a little better production from the Texas wide receivers not named Parker Livingstone. Ryan Wingo has not played well. I mean, granted, Arch hasn't given him the greatest passes in the world, but he's giving him passes he should bring down and make a play out of. So no,
yeah.
I'd like to see better production out of that wide receiver room. But I'm afraid that it's looking our receiver room is reminding me too much of last year. And what I mean by that is on paper, Texas's wide receiver room last year looked like it was one of the most talented in college football. But then as the season progressed, it basically turned into Quinn Ewers targeting Matthew Golden and Gunnar Helm the entire time, and
Yeah.
I don't really want to see that again. Yes, Livingstone's up off to a great start. Yes, Jack Injuries looks really good, but
Yeah.
we have other weapons. It'll open up
Yeah.
the offense more if we
Makes
use
sense.
them.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I thought Wingo would be doing a little bit better, but I mean, he still has the rest of the season to
Yeah,
prove
it's still
better.
early.
I will say Ohio State plays Ohio U
Hmm.
today, and
Over under 70 points.
I don't I don't know because Ohio. I mean, they did beat West Virginia. Not saying West Virginia is great, but they have played two Power Five teams and played well. So I don't know how we'll do, but last time I know, I think it was like 20 years ago. Rufus came after Brutus. Okay, we're coming back for that. We're adding up this like we're running up the score this time.
Fair enough.
We don't play around about our Brutus. All right.
They
So
love their Brutus. They love their big nut.
yeah, and
No Diddy.
the mascot got arrested. I'm pretty sure, but yeah. So yeah, I like what we're doing right now. I just like to see more, or like to see another game, and then we have a bye week next week, so we're less than a minute. It could go off anytime.
I thought you were going to get cut off, honestly.
I know, me too. But go Buckeyes, and let's watch
I thought you were about to
Jeremiah.
say go Longhorns, too. That was about to be hilarious.
I just it never